Okay, Grings. Yeah, I must be going through some kind of timeline shift. It's been an odd vibe going on recently. Greetings. So going to alien invasion, soul possession. Already did something like this already. But kind of go into it a little bit more. If there's any other areas that I've missed, or you can go on and on with something like this. So obviously, it's the demonic. Interesting. The demonic realms do this also. But even like some of these spiritual leaders, how many of them are possessed by all kinds of beings, especially when they're so confident about their alien connections and all that. It's like, okay, where are you from, or what's kind of holding on to your body? Is it like an insectoid being? Is it a cockroach being talking to the people? You'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It is, people are I don't think most people are aware of any of this stuff. They're just going about this blindly. But when you have like this so-called alien expert on a spiritual level talking about the fourth dimension, how do you know that person's not possessed by who knows what? And it's very confident of itself, very arrogant, and so on, and just, this world's protected. It's like, yeah, but we're not protected from you. Just putting that out there. So, so the infiltration is through the soul. But how many are really looking at it that way? Imagine some of these alien so-called experts probably. I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm kind of tired of all of it. But anyway, I'm ready for a new profession, actually. It's just getting too culty out there. The spiritual community is now, it's like mostly a cult, not all of it. The majority is just, it's getting pathetic at this point. Yeah, it's getting really bad, but that's what people want, though. Give them what they want, right? You want to have a cult, there's plenty of them out there to choose from. Oh, jeez. Yeah, lucky us. And then they talk about the ascension and all that. It's like, ascension into where exactly? I mean, some of these people are actually being possessed by these beings that are out there. So, yeah, insectoid beings do this, reptilian beings do this, and so on. It just goes on and on. Like I said, it's the soul. How many recognize the soul? It's all about the physical alien energy, but the soul is a non-physical frequency. And the alien invasion is already happening in that regard. You might have, like I said before, you might have a teacher or a parent that's freaking nuts. It could be an alien being, or it could be a demonic being, whoever it might be, or it could be an angel being. It could be something good too. Of course, some angels are really bad. Go on and on with that. There's different ways of looking at it, and not everything's all bad. Not everything's all good, and so on. There's good and bad to everything. So it's a tough one out there. So I mean, what brought all this on is, there's a spiritual teacher out there right now that's talking gibberish and has a huge following and makes no sense. It's like, can this person say all this gibberish and then repeat it? No, because it's all nonsense. But whatever. It's hypnotism. It's a spell. And you have a lot of sheeple out there. A lot of sheep out there. And you have no idea what they're getting themselves into. Snapping habits, not easy. So they tell people that you're awakened, you're advancing, and you're just being screwed with. The church would love to have that power over people. Of course, they do that to a certain level. So yeah, I would say take it for a ride, boys. That's the truth of it. Yeah. So that's the alien invasion energy. So basically, that's already been happening for thousands of years. Yeah, you got Enki, you got Enlil, you got so on and so on. Not to say they're always doing something, but you never know. You never know. Or their energy is being used, however you want. It doesn't mean that they're always, you never know. There's a light and dark to everything. So, lovely. Yeah, you can hijack someone's energy and use that for negativity. So, it does exist. The truth hurts. It hurts really bad. I'm not. I guess the mass population just wants to feel like they're going to higher vibration and live in delusional land, and I think they're super advanced and getting super hijacked instead. But whatever works for you, right? Just tell them what they want to hear, right? And that's happening. Even some Arcturian beings are being channeled. I'm not even sure those are the Arcturian beings being channeled, but they say they are. Because I don't know. I mean, there are dark Arcturians, but whatever. The other thing is witches and curses. Well, of course, there's warlocks also. So the curse energy, there's different ways of looking at that. Yeah, it's an energy, so it's a belief system. Like some people feel like their families are cursed, and that might not be all of that. There are, like I said, demonic possessions and things like that. Dark entities, like they say, that bars and drugs out there. You get entities attached to it that way. So it doesn't mean it's necessarily a curse, but it doesn't mean you don't have an attachment. It doesn't mean it's trying to a curse. I mean, an entity attaches itself to trying to sabotage you, trying to get you depressed, trying to destroy yourself. Because it gets you to destroy yourself, then they can take you over. Yeah, if they get you to commit suicide or get into a huge. Everybody has to go through their own depression. That's quite normal. Go through your own darkness. It's very normal. But they want to take it to the next level. They want to push you down to the ground so they can take you over. Yeah, I can hear about that about the secret space program. Obviously, I guess you can, but anyway, the demonic realm, that's how it usually works. And so if you feel like you got to clear out your energy, you can go to energy healer. Of course, some energy healers are so into their own ego. Oh, look, I removed like 1,000 beings from me. It's like, they probably sometimes they might have removed anything. They might have added something to you. Who knows? Some healers are just into their own ego. So some are actually legit, but there's many that just want to write a book about how great they are. That's just here for their own ego. They're saving the world from the bad guys, the bad beings. They're just showing about how talented they are, how happy they are, and they're just fooling themselves. I saw one at the conference recently. It's like, that was a speaker. It's like, jeez. Yeah, so lovely. Yeah, really just egotistical, just out of control. That was the last conference I was at. So I gotta love that one. So I guess there's good information there. Yeah, there's always a silver lining to a bunch of BS, that's for sure. But yeah, the whole soul possession situation, I'm not sure if people are always ready for that. That'd be good for a conference, but how many are be terrified to feel that, that's something you don't talk about during a conference. But yeah, it's tricky because some people are possessed, literally. They have so many entities attached to them to do with themselves, and they might be used to it. So, but also kids can get possessed too. Obviously, you can have a dark entity attached to you, it's trying to sabotage you their whole life. So, I guess you can say that's a version of a curse, but it's mostly a demonic attachment. Just trying to sabotage you, trying to keep you. Now, you can also have a timeline where your timeline just sucks, where it's just sabotage. You're just bad luck, whatever it is. There's that. But that doesn't mean there's not always an influence there. It can be. It's hard to tell. But some of these healers, man, just the energy of some of them, they're just, God, just like, oh yeah, I took away like 50 entities from me. It's like, okay, whatever. What about you? Did you remove all your entities yet? Obviously, you got one there that's kind of up its own ass, basically. So yeah, because you can be, some of these so-called light workers can be so up their ego they can't see the entities are actually possessing them. And some of them can be healers too. Yeah, it's true. If you're supposedly at this higher dimensional light, you can't see darkness. So you can't see your own darkness, your own stuff. So yeah, well, that's why going to your own darkness is a good thing. Going to your own insanity is good. So and also Serbia as a reptilian event. I have to watch what I'm saying here because I'm not on the buddy list of YouTube. I'm not on the you're protected. I'm on the we're ready to get rid of you. So, but there was a Serbian shooting, and it was very unusual. It felt like a reptilian possession. It was a kid. I think it was a kid killed like 9 people. And it's Serbia. How many people know where that, or Belarus? How many people know where any of that is? So I think it's by Russia, if I remember right. So yeah, it's very unusual there. So it's these entities they look for ways in. They're always doing that, especially with kids. Imagine if parents become more aware of this stuff. That would be good instead of just calling everybody crazy. Of course, if they're already crazy and they think everybody else is crazy, you're not gonna get anywhere with that. I love it. I'm not sure if this world is ever meant. I don't know. It can. This world can evolve, but you're not really seeing any movement there. But it can. Maybe in a couple million years, maybe after World War V happens, World War 10. Yeah, it's got a long ways to go. But go back to a little bit to the witches situation. Spiritual healers that have a lot of issues, major issues. Like you disagree with them mentally, and then you get energy attack. That's what inspired this. Like you get literally an energy attack from them. It's an old video. It's an old message. It's like, well, wait. So I mean, it's bad actors, but come on, it's like. It's getting kind of ridiculous how bad it really is. It's just kind of, it's like, I don't know, it's just so bad. It's like, that's all it is anymore. It's like, it was just ran by criminals. That's it. It's like majority criminals, and why didn't bother? Just let it be the sewer that it is. Just like religion. So religion loses its energy. Now it's going into this cult, alien cults and all that. And is humanity strong enough to fight this? No. So far, it looks like it's a losing battle at this point. So, the more elaborate, more exciting the story, the more the manipulation. And it's working well out there. Truth hurts. Who knows? Whatever. Do what you must do. Just, save yourself if you can, or whatever that means. But I don't know, or don't save, whatever. Do what you gotta do. What the fuck? I gotta add there. All right, so I'm Tony coming prep sessions. Scheduler. In the shop here. I'm on the 24th. Yeah, I'll be catching up Thursday. I can't do anything right now. The webinar tomorrow, social network behind the scenes, and the archive, and also like the Serbian topic here. It came from here, and there's some other topic. I'm watching. I'm not going to channel certain alien collectives because I don't know who they are, and anybody can come up with a collective, like the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Like, okay, whatever, just add a new label to it. Whatever. So whatever works for you. So Serbia, I'm not sure how far I'm gonna go with that one. That's probably gonna be the shortest connection for the sensitivity of it, and it's on YouTube, and YouTube has kind of sold itself out. So And it's been pushing my channel down to the depths of nowhere, further than it's ever has. So it's pretty much like a dying channel. Not to say it was that alive to begin with, but they're pretty much killing it. So, but anyway, we'll just keep it alive the best we can. Not that it matters. So, all right, we're going to alien invasion, soul possession energy. So we get a different point of view, or maybe the same point of view. Maybe it needs to be said over and over again. Witches and curses energy. Just learn to protect your energy, or just as you have crystals. It's good to remove any entities. You can do it yourself also. It's good to have a candle. Now, you don't have the candle on all the time, but if you're going to remove entities, it's good to bring in light and just remove any bad actors there, which are many. And those dark entities are like creatures like you see in a movie, like monsters. Just like we see in the movies, like we see in Lord of the Rings. Even the witches are like that, and the warlocks are like just like we see in the movies. So the movies, may not be the bestly made creation, but that stuff is real. Well, we should get to see it. And trust me, if you saw it here, people would be freaking out. First off, some of the thing is freaking awesome. It's like that's messed up. Yeah, and even like I don't know why this is coming to mind, like Freddy Krueger, to have like a movie like Nightmare on Elm Street, and people here don't know anything. It's like, here you go. Here's a movie, and we're just gonna throw attachments on all of you. Most of you have a nice viewing party here. So yeah, horror movies can add definitely attachments to people for sure. Some already have attachments, and okay, got more attachments now. So anyway, yeah, it's wild. It's wild out there. So all right, the cats are here. They're sleeping, but so they're getting older. So they're not that old, but I think they're like 2 years old now. They're just less, I don't know, it's pretty late. So, all right. Okay, all right, we're going to alien energies, witches, and Serbia. All right, blessings. Greece is there. Arturians, blessings. Yes, there are some souls here that do play on both sides of the river, as you say, of the light and the dark, and can easily get persuaded and taken over. Basically, they can be, it's guarding your energy is probably the more complicated thing here, which is not taught in your schools for obvious reasons. Even some of your school teachers want you to be possessed. Even, of course, a lot of them are being programmed as it is. So there'll be a time when taking your child to school will be like teaching your kid to protect their mind, because obviously it can be altered and swayed easily, and to learn how to have a stronger mindset. Many have a weak mind and get taken over, and that's why the world is the way it is. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the easiest thing to be taught worldwide. That's been mentioned throughout history to strengthen your mind, but not everybody can do that. So, with soul possession frequencies from alien beings, well, it's like you leave a door open within yourself, and they just easily come in. And you might think it's a spirit guide. Most people don't ever think that way, but some might think that way. Yeah, now you talk about when you hear about in the news, like a fake death. So when someone says, a lot of times that is a clone or some kind of infiltration just occurred there. Same thing like when someone feels like they got a new guide. Not always, but there are cases where you have another controller that showed up. And that person might have already let go of themselves. They might have. Now you can get guides and be okay, but some get guides and it's like now they have a new boss. And some of these are spiritual teachers. And the person that you are seeing as a spiritual teacher isn't really there. It's the vessel. It's the empty vessel where other entities are talking through them and doing their thing. And your person here is completely oblivious to it. And becoming more aware of that's hard, especially when you think much of a mentor. Come to find out that person's been hijacked a long time ago. So it's up to you where you go with all this. It's not everybody's ready to see the truth. There is also, yes, the jinn that's connected to the Arcturians. And the jinn, once again, they just see an opening and they possess. Alien beings are similar to the jinn. They just come in. They see they can just move into your field because you're not protecting yourselves that well. And so they just slowly, and especially children are the easiest to do that with because they're not, and they're just children, and the parents aren't exactly doing energy healing on their kids. Some of them, they're getting ready for school, but they're not really doing energy protection. Which doesn't mean you're going to get rid of everything, but at least the parents will be more aware of what's going on there. It's not part of the mindset here for obvious reasons. It's done that way, so the humanity can be continued to be hijacked. So that has to be healed first. You talk about alien invasions, or anything. I mean, yes, there is alien invasion happening now. Yes, it's going on since the dawn of time of this version of Earth for sure. And it's in Egyptian times. It's happening now. Even that some entities. So if some humans get possessed, and they all of a sudden become an alcoholic or a drug addict, that's so the soul can stay in that person's body. It's like fuel. So, and it's the male and female. Some females, they just easily get taken over, and they're just having a blast, ruining themselves, destroying themselves. And then when they get older, they look at their life, and males do this too, but a lot of females do it usually more often because they have a lot of power over the male. And they just ruin themselves until they're like they're 30, and then they just have to kind of make up for all the screw ups. And a lot of times the entities just leave. Some might hang around, but often just leave. Okay, the fun's over. Now their health is depleted. We're out of here. So that's nice. Greetings, we have energies from spirit. Well, you come here to make many choices, and many souls here are hard-headed, so they think they can take on this world and handle it, and they easily get hijacked on their way here, or throughout their young lives here. So, and that's healing the ego. So you're going to learn eventually. Yeah, some that incarnate here, they feel like they're going to have more awakening in higher dimensions, and they have to a certain level, but they also have an altered view of it. They're not seeing everything. Yeah, they get hijacked by others. Spiritual groups, whatever it might be. Many are very into material possessions and want to just look high vibrational, but still be misguided. So some of you are breaking free of all of that. You might have nice things, but you're not married to them. If they break, it's not the end of the world. For others, it's the end of the world because part of their energy is part of their show. So there's nothing wrong with having nice things. Sometimes it just helps elevate your frequency. But like I said, if it gets injured or something like that, it gets broken or glass breaks or plate, it's not the end of the world. But many that feel like it's the end of the world because they're projecting themselves through their things, through their couches, through their homes. It's like, hey, look, I'm not crazy. Look at all this nice stuff I have. I'm not crazy at all until you get to know I'm like, ouch. Behind closed doors, ouch. So that's where demons are. So with cursed dark entity energies, yes, of course. They have to live too. So they need a host. They're going to do this until humanity figures it out. Some of you are. Most aren't. And that's the idea. They're not taught how energy works. They're taught to be afraid of it, or it doesn't even exist. It's all about material possession, and it is about obviously survival. Completely understand that. They figure you're worried about survival, which is understood. They use that to your advantage to misguide. Not some of you are breaking free of it. It's not the easiest road to break free, as some of you see. And then you hit the ego, and the ego is out of control. So have you calmed that horse down? Because the ego, you might be spiritually advanced, but your ego, for some, the ego is it just feels like it can do no wrong. It does a lot of wrongs, there's a lot of manipulations, and it can be also very powerful, but not in the best of ways. Doesn't mean it has the best intentions. So that's this. Greens, we have consciousness of Serbia. Yes, there is a slight infiltration of reptilian energy. There is, of course, reptilian beings. There's all types of beings there. But some souls, have to go into their own true darkness. And even those that they do attack, they're trying to even take over those. Yeah, if you, murder somebody, they try to take over that soul too. So it's very selfish. And it can be a child too. So a child can't be hijacked. And that's why parenting is so difficult. Even if you do energy healing on a child, that doesn't mean they're going to accept it. Sometimes they reject it. So that's more frustrating. So you are aware of the higher dimensions, energy healing on a child, but then you feel them saying no to all the energy work you're doing for them. So that doesn't help. Yeah, there's a dark connection there with the child, and dark, you just have to go through what they're going through and whatever they choose. And at least in Serbia's situation, it's like if they're going to go down, they're going to take others with them. And so now they created karmic ties with those souls that they killed. And it can go on for forever once they do that. They can haunt those souls that they killed, basically to try to lower the frequencies of them. So a lot of times they go out, they murder souls that are weak or high vibrational actually, and try to weaken the frequency down. But they're just so tired of them being at a higher frequency. If they shoot them, maybe they can get them at a low energy and take them over. Now, it's not always a child doing that. Sometimes just entities doing that. They just found someone they can possess, and then they go on their killing spree. So this is why, mass murder happens on different levels. But also some of it is population control. Basically, it's just a reset of humanity. But in this case, there's situations like that. Like even places in Africa where they just had enough suffering. It's like, we've suffered enough, just take us out. And that actually does happen. Even during World War II, you can see that. Even World War II, some of them wanted to stay alive, but there's just a reset on the planet, basically. Not that you need to go through that again or anytime soon. But at least gives you an idea of how this works. So basically, like a child can be easily manipulated, depending on the child, and manipulate just to lower the frequencies of others. And even those that are in mourning, some have lost hope for humanity. That is the darker realms. And there's reptilian beings involved with it too, to grab whoever they can, to lower their frequency so they can have their souls and add it to their energy field. So this is a war out there. Blessings.